Hi, welcome back to a new devlog on Project Hunter. The past couple of weeks I've been busy adding Steam to my game so that you can now play the multiplayer online with your friends if you have Steam running in the background. Besides that, there was a lot of other things I needed to fix, create, and add to the netcode. So let's get into it. At this point, we have a monster, we have a player, and I now even have the super cool sweat guy, which I totally did not steal from a free website, and a base map. But let's start with the beginning. We had to have some UI overhaul because the old UI was fairly shit. So I added the Steam button to the main menu, and that was it. Of course not. But we had to do a lot of things. So I split up my netcode in Steam and eNet because the Stop Killing Games initiative. I'm listening. This game needs to be played locally, even if servers die. So I followed a tutorial. Battery Acid Dev made a really good one on this, even showing the splitting up the netcode part. So I just copy and paste that code, and bada bing bada boom, multiplayer is as shit as it was before. So let's fix the multiplayer. We had the disconnecting, reconnecting, and lobby shit that was it worked, but it was not that great. We had the hosting and joining, but the host had no clue who joined. So I really wanted an overview of the players that have joined or have left the lobby. The second part wasn't even possible because if you wanted to leave the lobby, you had to restart the game. So I wanted to start with the overview of players. I created some new UI, and now when a client joins, you can clearly see someone joined with their multiplayer ID under the players. After this, I added some extra buttons so the host could go back to the main menu and the players could go back to the main menu. Was really handy for sometimes testing with less players or more, and I can just play around with multiple instances. Of course, here my netcode was already lackluster. The changing of scenes back and to the main menu had some issues. I had to use the multiplayer spawner for this because the scene replication over network was doing weird stuff that I did not understand at the time. But after just following the Godot documentation, this was a very simple fix. But this multiplayer spawner is gonna make a lot of issues in the future. I'll cover that later in this video. But after this, so the lobby menu is done, there was some feedback I got from the previous jam entry. The monster was loud, the monster was dumb, the game is too easy, and probably just make something else. But fun fact, I know the game is not finished, it's not even close to what it's supposed to be at this point. But let's change that so this sprint I can actually show off the ID that I have for this game. So I added new states to the monster. The idea is that one player will control the monster by using a series of commands and abilities, while the other player tries to shoot the monster's controller and so stop the invasion of the monsters. I don't know, story is still being written. But to do that, I just opened up Godot, Limbo AI, and added the following states. You can now call the monster with a whistle. You have a lookout state and a stun state if the monster gets shot. Of course, this was not enough, so the player can also place tripwires that will jump scare the player that walks into them. Turns out, though, that multiplayer and spawning is stupid. It's not a skill issue, it's just stupid. When I add an area 3D, so that was like the area that I was telling, hey, if the player walks into this area, he's gonna get jump scared. And I tell the client, look, I place an area here. The player is like, oh, sure, I'm cool with that. So the client says, sure, let's sounds fun. Let's add it to my scene as well. But I'm calling it Steve. I don't know why, but it's called Steve on the client server. So when the player then walks into the jump scare, The server says, hey, he triggered a jump scare, remove the area 3D. The client is like, huh? I don't have an area 3D. I only have Steve. So again, I had to revisit my old netcodes, rewrite it so that it uses a multiplayer spawner instead of just an RPC. Then make the spawn function be a unique version of it that I coded myself so I can sync the name of that area to all the clients, make a variable that's also RPC'd so that all clients can access it if they want to spawn it. And yeah, there was a lot of things that I did not understand at the time. Syncing was really complicated, but now I think I got the handle on it. So yeah, jump scares work. So now that the monster's new functionality is done, we need the functionality of the player. So I've created a gun, I added a muzzle flash and some animations to it, making the animations of the sweat character also broke his back, and I have this weird bug in my game. I have no clue why, but it's in it. Not, I have no clue how to fix it. Uh, and then I fixed the spawn points so you don't spawn on top of each other and just fly to heaven. I'm not God. And the game is done. For replayability, I also randomized the minigames, but the art is still my own shitty, fast art that I created on a random Tuesday, and it probably will be for a while. And that's it. You can play the newest version by downloading it from itch, link it in the description. The previous version is available as a web build, so if you want to see what I've done last sprint and what I've improved on this sprint, you can just see them side by side. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.